Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another video. This time it is my creature, dedication to creature covers. Again, there are a ton of them out there, a ton of them in my collection. I could probably make several parts to this video. I may do that, but as of right now, I'm probably not going to do that. So I grabbed a bunch of them to show you and talk a little bit about them as I show them to you. So we're going to start off with some zombie covers. Here we go. Here's the Zombie Matador cover from The Haunt of Fear number 10. One of my favorite stories in the Haunt of Fear line is in this book, Grave Business. So here we have the Zombie Matador holding the Matador, and he's going to be confronted, or looks like he's going to be gored, by a zombie bull. Pretty cool. A lot of zombie stuff going on in this cover. Moving along, one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite Tales from the Crypt book. Tales from the Crypt number 23. We have the zombie rising out of the coffin in which this guy has been locked into the mausoleum with. The cover story is Last Respects, and there was no zombie in that story. But it's still a pretty cool cover depicting a zombie. Here's another cool cover depicting a zombie. Crypt of Terror. You can see a lot of ECs in this. Crypt of Terror number 19. Again, like I said with the monster video, you have somebody or some people, some couple right in the front talking about a zombie or a monster of some type. In this case, it's obviously a zombie. He's talking about how he murdered his wife and the natives are pounding on the drums. They must be up to something. I wonder what they're up to. Well, looks like they resurrected your wife. So you see this across many different EC titles. But here, a pretty cool looking zombie drawn by Johnny Craig. Here's another zombie that sometimes I don't think gets credit for being zombie. Solomon Grundy. There we are. This is a pretty cool cover. He just looks really creepy. I've always liked Solomon Grundy. And here's his first Silver Age appearance. Another zombie type character, and the last one for this particular video, Deadman. Well, he's a zombie, right? He's come back to life to get revenge on the people that have murdered him. He looks dead, and hence he is a zombie. Now, we're going to move toward other sorts of creatures, just briefly, before I go into another set of creatures. I want to talk about demonic entities. Now, I only have 2 books picked out. I probably, if I go through my collection more thoroughly, probably pick out a few more. But here are 2, starting with this one. The Demon, number 1. Again, a gift from Dr. Von Schilla. Drawn by Jack Kirby. Very, very cool character. Very, very cool cover, with rich colors and an awesome character. And the last one for this particular topic of demons, who worse than Mephisto, right? Another cool cover, red background. And whenever there are demons involved, it tends to have a red background. And he's even more frightening when you open up the book and you see him, especially that one scene where he gets face to face with the Silver Surfer. Pretty cool. Now we're going to shift gears, and there's quite a few books here. When it comes to characters transforming into monsters. Now, yeah, a werewolf is a man who transforms into a wolf, right? Well, we're not going to do any of those because the last video covered werewolves. But I'm talking about when man transforms into other type of creatures other than a werewolf. Starting off with Sauron. We met Dr. Carl Lycos in issue 59. And we didn't see the creature that he would turn into until this one, where he becomes the creature Sauron. He is, what kind of a dinosaur is that? A pterodactyl? I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know too much about dinosaurs other than a Tyrannosaurus Rex, Brontosaurus, and so forth. But he turns into this creature and has some pretty frightening powers. Here's another one. Another Neal Adams. Here, we got Man-Bat, right? Dr. Carl Langstrom turns into a living bat and becomes Man-Bat. And I think one that I know Luther Manning, Patrick will love, is issue 402. I believe this is the second time you see Man-Bat. I don't have 401, so I don't know, but pretty cool covers. Here we have one. Swamp Thing #1. Yeah, Dr. Alec Holland turned into a creature from the swamp, aptly named Swamp Thing. Here he is, drawn by Bernie Wrightson, rising out of the swamp. Here we visit Dr. Curt Connors, another victim who has turned into a creature due to a botched experiment trying to replace his arm. He'd done experiments on lizards because lizards can replace limbs. Well, if lizards can do it, why couldn't humans? Unfortunately, it had negative effects and turned him into the lizard. And the last one for the creatures is this. Once again, now we visited Alec Holland in Swamp Thing #1. Now we're going to visit Alex Olson in the first appearance of the Swamp Thing. One of my absolute favorite covers, drawn by Bernie Wrightson. Last two. Now these two here have other types of monsters. Not necessarily men or women who turn into monsters, but just these creatures. Like, you know, in the 1950s, they had all these B-movie horror films of giant ants and spiders. Well, these two books here have something similar to that. And we're going to start off with Tales to Astonish 27. Here we have poor Hank Pym being dragged into the ant hole. Now here the difference is these are not giant ants like in the 1950s, I think it was them, but Hank Pym managed to shrink himself into ant size. Well, unfortunately, he came across a hive of ants, and now here comes the horror as they drag him into the anthill. And the last one, I think, is probably one that you would definitely say has a mix of different things, a mix of different monsters. Fantastic Four #1. Here, the first one that comes to mind, right smack in your face, is the mole monster rising up from the street. That is awesome. We've talked about this before, people in the community, myself included, how Fantastic Four #1 was a conglomeration of superhero and monster themes that were dominant in the 1950s Atlas books. Okay, so here, Stan Lee's trying to move toward in the direction of superheroes. Well, he still brings in some of the old style of using monsters to first do that. And if it would have become successful, which it did, he would lean more towards superheroes. Well, here we have the mole monster coming out. And what about everyone's favorite blue-eyed monster, The Thing? Definitely a great book to have. Definitely one that is part superhero, part monster. The book itself is a creature that has different attributes. And here, don't forget about the Human Torch, right? He's a creature of flame. There's so much in this book. It's just so good. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stick around. More videos to come. Take care.